Hello guys, my name is Elvin Thomas and welcome to this product. So let's imagine that you are driving a car around a roundabout with a constant speed. So are you accelerating? Let's talk about that. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you like my content and want to support it, consider subscribe. So let's get started. Now, today we are going to talk about uniform circular motion. So the car is in uniform circular motion because it is traveling equal distances in equal intervals of time. It has this constant speed at all points, but does it have constant velocity? Well, it doesn't, because velocity has two things, magnitude and direction. Obviously, the magnitude remains constant throughout the circular path, but the direction is changing. Hence, the car is accelerating. But by how much or in what direction? So let's talk about that. Now, if you take a small interval in which the car has traveled from A to B around the roundabout and has traced an angle theta. Now let the radius from the center to point A be r, and the radius from center to B be r dash. Now, and the velocities at A and B be v and v dash respectively. Now, since the car is in circular motion, now the velocity vector would always be along the tangent to the circle at that point. The velocity vector would always make a 90-degree angle with the radius. Now you'll notice that the angle that the car has traced during the time, theta, is the same as the angle which is being formed between v and v dash. Let the change in velocity be delta v. Therefore, delta v is equal to v dash minus v. The acceleration would be equal to delta v by delta t under the limits delta t tending to 0, because it is a very small interval. Now, if we take r and r dash and v dash, now you will notice that these vectors create similar triangles because they have proportional lengths of sides and a same angle. Now, delta v is the displacement vector between v and v dash, and similarly delta r is the displacement vector between r and r dash. So using the similarities, you know that delta v by v is equal to delta r by r dash, because we have proved that these both triangles are similar. Now you can compute that delta v is equal to v into delta r by r. Now, putting this value of delta v into the first equation which we formed of acceleration, we have a is equal to v delta r by capital R delta t with limits delta t tending to 0. Now, since v and r are constant, we can separate it. So we have v by r into delta v by delta t. Now, since this is a very small interval, the arc length would be equal to delta, the magnitude of delta r. Let us approximate that delta r is equal to arc length. Since we know that the velocity is v, therefore delta r by delta t is equal to v. So we have delta r is equal to v delta t. Now, putting this value in the above equation, we have acceleration is equal to v square by r. So now you know the magnitude of the acceleration. But in what direction is the acceleration being applied? The acceleration being applied by the car is always along the radius towards the center. Now, this acceleration is called centripetal acceleration because centri means center and petal means to like. So hence the name centripetal acceleration. Now, this was in terms of the translation motion. Now, when you talk about rotational motion, angular speed is the rate of change of the angle it traces. If you want a formula, omega is equal to delta theta by delta t. Now, similarly, v is equal to delta s by delta t, where s is the distance traveled and delta t is the time interval. We also know delta s is equal to arc theta. Now you know the formula, which is theta is equal to arc length upon radius. So using this, you can find that the arc length is equal to radius into theta. So putting this in the formula delta s by delta t, you have v is equal to r delta theta by delta t. Now, as you know, delta theta by delta t is equal to omega. So you have v is equal to omega r. Now, this is an equation which you'll use in many problems which you may find in future questions. Now, if we put this value of v into centripetal acceleration, we have acceleration is equal to omega square r. This is also another equation which is very important. So when in rotational motion, the centripetal acceleration is represented by omega square r. Now, if you know the frequency, you don't know the angular velocity of a particular object in circular motion. You just know the frequency. You know that omega is equal to 2 pi nu. Therefore, v is equal to 2 pi r nu. Hence, the centripetal acceleration would be equal to 4 pi square omega square r. So now you know the centripetal acceleration in terms of linear velocity, you know in terms of angular velocity, and you know in terms of the frequency. Now using this, you can solve all the problems related to uniform circular motion. So that's it for this video. There will be more videos coming up. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you like my content and want to support it, consider subscribing. Mr. Padaku signing off.